Hey there, just wanted to do a quick video on the White Industries crankset. This one is the M30, but it will also be very similar to the G30. The only thing that's different between the M30 and the G30 is really the spindle that they give you is more narrower for the G30. But the way that the actual crank arm is exactly the same, from my understanding at least. This is also a video to just give a little bit of clarity on what it takes to get the Chris King. This is a threadfit 30, which is the 30 millimeter spindle here, as well as this spindle is 30 millimeters. So it has to match up, so the diameter is the same. So yeah, basically, where do I begin? The White Industries crankset comes with this crank arm, this spindle, and when you buy the M30 version, which is mountain, you're going to get this particular one, which says 73 millimeters as well as 91.5 millimeters. This Surly Karate Monkey is a 73 millimeter wide bottom bracket, so that's 73 millimeters. So that's going to work with this spindle. You also get with the M30 this crank arm. You do not get this included in the price. So this chain ring is going to be separate that you have to buy, and you can determine how many teeth you want on it based upon how easy or hard you want your gearing to be. This one I have 30. On my Surly Midnight Special, I have a 36 on the front. So you can change it, I think, with any two teeth increments. I think they have a 28 at the lowest end. The way that this works, and this is probably, this viewpoint is probably really hard to find. It was hard for me to find. But essentially the way that this goes on is this is a lock ring, and this lock ring is put on by this tool, which I'll show you here. And this is a toolkit that I just got from like Performance a while ago, and this, I don't know the technical name of it, but it's basically this tool here that goes in here. And so when you loosen this, this will loosen this ring, and you can take this chain ring off. When you get it, the chain ring is obviously separate, so you have to put the chain ring on and then take this lock ring, which they give to you. It's a White Industries lock ring, and tighten it. I found it a little bit awkward tightening it because you just have like this crank arm, and the amount of force that they want you to put in there is actually 40 Newton meters. So it was kind of difficult to put on, but I think we got it pretty close. I think we did get to the 40 Newton meters by kind of putting it on the ground and kind of cranking it down with a torque wrench. Yeah, so that's kind of how that looks. Let's see here. So you'll notice here that there's two, I guess you will call it the spacers. I'm hesitant to call it a bottom bracket spacer, but I think that's pretty much what this is. There's two different sizes of these, and what I mean by sizes, you'll see this lip is a little bit thinner than this lip. And the reason for that is you can get, Chris King offers a conversion kit, and they've kind of changed the way they've done it, but they offer you, I think, different sizes, so you can kind of manipulate how wide your crank arms are going to be sitting. And that's really mainly due to the chain line that you have, especially with your Eagle cassette or a cassette in the back. So this chain line here is really important when you're dealing with kind of bigger tires, as well as like the gearing that you're using in the back. So moving it outward, you know, a couple millimeters or a millimeter or half a millimeter is going to make a little bit of a difference on how your chain reacts to the cassette in the back. Sometimes it makes noises, sometimes it might be slightly off pitch, so you can adjust it based upon how wide you want this this chainring to go. So the way that I have it and the way that works for me on my Karate Monkey is if I have this thinner one, and I think that this is about like a 1/2 millimeter maybe, is to have this on the drive side. So right there. And then this one, I think it's about 1 millimeter. Could be a little bit thicker, I'm not sure. But I'll try to find out, and if I do, I'll put it in the description in the video. So yeah, basically these things go in here on each side, and this goes in here, and then you just push it in, and pretty much it's a little sticky, but so yeah, that's basically the way it goes. And you can see that spacer there will kind of determine, you know, a few things. I'm not a bike mechanic by any means, but I do all my work on my own bikes and kind of do trial and error, do a lot of research. So basically this, and with the smaller one on that end, I'm able to tighten it up. It has enough space, and the chain line works pretty good for me. So your mileage may vary, so I think you just got to depends. If you don't know what you're doing, it's probably best to just go to your bike shop and have them do it. Otherwise, you can kind of test it out with, you know, kind of what I'm saying, but I don't know if I would listen to me. Yeah, so that basically goes in all the way, obviously. But again, they kind of fit a little bit tight, so you just have to kind of fiddle it in there. And then from there, once you have that in all the way, you put this crank arm in, obviously 180 degrees from the other crank arm, and it fits in there like this. And then there's a screw that you tighten, which is here, and that screw basically screws this on all the way. And then you're done. There's a lock ring here that I didn't show you, but there is a ring here that if you move clockwise, it's going to tighten. And what it's going to do is it's going to compress these two together, so it has a pressure against the bearings to kind of get out any of the wiggleness or the any free play in there. So you want to tighten it enough where it's gets rid of the play, but not too tight where it doesn't spin freely. And you'll be able to be able to notice it pretty easily by just it's seeing if there's any resistance. Obviously, you don't want too much resistance there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This is a 10 millimeter Allen wrench that tightens or loosens this. And once you dial in your tension on the lock ring here, you just use a 1.5 millimeter Allen wrench to tighten it, and that basically tightens that gap there so it doesn't move. You want to kind of watch out for that, because I have had it loosened before by not tightening it too much. So just keep an eye out on it over time. But yeah, that's pretty much it, and hopefully that helps. Thanks a lot. Bye.